Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vinita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys July's collective messages. Now, this is a little bit late in airing. I was just really busy with a few things that was on the go for me, and I didn't get a chance to actually record this earlier, but regardless, it's here, so you can have a look at it. I always say that this is timeless anyway, so whenever you're meant to see the messages is when you are going to come across this video. So it is the work of the higher selves and the spirit, so I would never doubt that process. And I also want to say that if you're drawn to this channel, it doesn't matter if you're on a twin flame path or a journey. If you're drawn to some of the teachings that I have in this channel, guided meditations, or just reading, don't doubt that process as well. If you are meant to come here and look at any of their stuff that's going to help you along in your soul's journey, then why not? And that's the way the higher selves and the spirits actually work. So without further ado, I've got actually a lot of cards that I want to actually do a reading on, or pull them out and see what the messages are. So we'll go with the flow, and then I also have, as usual, the charms as well. So with all of that, this is a jam-packed reading for July, and we'll see what happens, and yeah, we'll go with the flow. So before we actually dive deep into the reading, as usual, let's hit it. And welcome back. So as usual, for those that are my regular viewers, you know that I actually have some intuitive messages that I actually collect from Tanaz from Forever Conscious. So if you want to actually look at the article that she writes, you can actually go in depth on her website and check out the article. But these are some of the highlights for July. So July 1st to the 4th, we've got a T-square with Mars, Uranus, and Saturn. So now this is all astrological stuff. So I mean, unless you're an astrologer, this wouldn't make sense to you much. But again, you know, it's there, so you can take a look at it in an article and see how this will apply to you. July 3rd and July 3rd to 7th, we've got Sirius Gateway. Now, Sirius is a spiritual sun that is very potent for your healing, your manifestation, because it's sort of like a gateway. So you want to actually look into further into the articles, whoever has written it. I know Tanaz has written twice on this article alone, so you may want to just check that out in her website, or some others that have written something on it. It's very powerful. So yeah, keep that in mind, because by the time it's going to air, unfortunately, you may get the tail end of it. So for next year, you know, for your own knowledge, you can actually remember it for next year and go ahead and do your manifestation, healing, and setting some sort of intentions, because it is a very strong gateway. So July 9th, we have new moon and Cancer. So we've got that. July, we don't have actually too much going on in July, which is actually good compared to some other months. July 12th, we've got Mercury trining Jupiter. So you can have a look at that, what that means. July 13th, we've got Venus in conjunct with Mars. July 15th, we've got Chiron that's going in retrograde. Chiron is a sort of like a wounded soldier, wounded warrior. So yeah, when they go in retrograde mode, there's lots of things that come up in, especially for those that are on soul's journey. A lot of things can come up for you to integrate and heal and purge, that sort of thing. So that's the work of Chiron. Yeah, it's very, very powerful in that sense as well. So we've got July 22. That's the beginning of the Leo season in the zodiac. So if you have Leo in your natal charts, this is going to affect you. So that's July 22. July 23rd, we've got full moon in Aquarius. So, and then July 28, we've got Jupiter was in retrograde mode. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but so the retrograde Jupiter is going to return to Aquarius. So that's some of the highlights of July. And yeah, it's not much going on for July, which is a good thing. So because I know that May and June were really, really powerful when it came to some of the things that was happening cosmically. So without that, I also want to say that if you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you want to book a private reading with me, you can do that directly from my website. Link is in the description box. Or if you want to book any other sessions with me, you can do that as well. All that information is in my website, and you can directly purchase, book from there. And I also want to add that 10% of sales also go to local, actually no, it's one is a local charity, it's Canada White, it's for animal cruelty, and the other one is Red Cross, which is international. So I do two of the charities, and that is all in my website as well, so you can take a look at it. So with that, let's dive into the reading. I'm gonna actually start off with the Ascended Masters. Let's just see what they want to say for opening our reading. I've got two decks that I'll bring, and as usual for my regular viewers, you know that I always pre-shuffle the deck as before I actually start recording. It just cuts the time. It becomes a very lengthy reading. There's so many cards that I bring, and as well as it goes very in depth. So for those that are new, you'll see that it becomes pretty long. So that's why I just kind of shuffle, and I cut the time that way. So for camera purposes, I do a little bit of it. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got Goddess Isis. So for those that are resonating with Goddess Isis, she is one of the Egyptian goddess, and her twin flame is Osiris. So, and I know that during, I'm the only teacher that actually can pull, only twin flame teacher that can pull Ascended Masters for twin flames, and I do it with such accuracy, it's not even funny. I always baffle the person that's getting the reading, and for whatever reason, they always their Ascended Masters is always around all their life. It's just that they've never really understood it until I point them out. So it's pretty, I love doing that part of the reveal in my readings, in my personal readings to the clients, because it just totally resonates. And so yeah, so I know that she comes up as the Ascended Masters for many twin flames. So yeah, it just goes to show that you know, she's here in spirit. She's talking about balancing your career and home life. So I know that a lot of my viewers are divine feminines, so, and that's just the energy, it doesn't matter of the gender. So yeah, a lot of you guys are trying to balance the you know, the home life and the career, because a lot of you are the, you know, the go-getters, right? So you know, you're doing everything. So yeah, it's telling you that you are in that mode of you know, trying to balance the energy, which is always needed. You know, it's never easy, and but you know, you guys do make it very seamless. So if it shows up again, that's fine. If not, then we're gonna go ahead with the messages. So let's see what other messages want to come. And this is the Ascended Masters, and as usual, what I do is in the order that you see the decks come, what I do is I actually list them as well, so you get to see what decks they are. Some of them are out of print. This one is, I know this is by Doreen's Virtue, so a lot of her decks are out of print, so it's really hard to even find them. Yeah, it is what it is. It's too bad because she had some really amazing decks, and I have quite I had quite a bit actually. Okay, so we've got 3 already out in one shot. So we've got Apollo talking about focus upon your strength. So that's a really, really good card for it to come out. We've got Moses that's talking about take charge of the situation. Sorry about the glare, I just use the natural lighting for my video, so it's just easier to see. And then we've got Hilarion that's talking about health and healing. So for a lot of you guys, it's not only about spiritual healing, it's also about focusing on your health. And I didn't even see this at the bottom. So we've got Kutumi that is talking about staying focused. So stay focused, that's what he's saying. So that just goes to show, you know, that yeah, it's meant, these messages were meant to come. So focus on your strength, take charge of the situation, focus on your health and healing, and that's the overall message in one shot. So so let's see what the other Ascended Masters deck wants to say. Okay, we've got at the bottom of the deck, we've got Lady Porter, divine order. Do what you feel is do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So this is Lady Porter talking about just knowing what you need to know and trust the process, focus that intention, and set it. Lady Venus, she talks about downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realms, and that's so true though. Like we are, when you're in a soul's journey, you will actually get constant downloads from, you know, from the astral realms and you know, your guides and the higher forces, the source energy. So you're always downloading that, and sometimes that gets very, very exhausting for a lot of collectives. And this is why I always talk about the salt clearing, right? You need to be able to do that regularly. I'll actually link my article in the description if you haven't come across it. What that means is that either you run a salt bath, a spiritual salt bath, or do a foot soak. You can do that every week, every day, or bi-weekly, whatever, bi-monthly, you know, choose which way you want. But yeah, you need to actually release that energy as you're getting all the downloads as well. So so yeah, it's very, very important that you actually keep up with that as well. Especially the foot soak. If you're watching TV, just run a foot soak, right? A salt foot soak. It really will help. So so yeah, I'll let you guys read that article and you know, try to incorporate that as well in your healing. Healing is not all about just just healing for the sake of it. You know, you have to actually remove it quickly as well, and also drink lots of water. I always say that as well, because yeah, it helps you to flush things off your body, right? Miriam is here, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. And that's just kind of funny. I believe, yes, it was one of my articles that I had written on the art of forgiveness, because and I'll actually link that one too into the description so you can have a look at it, because yeah, in order for you to heal on a deeper level, you need to actually apply forgiveness. And if you haven't done that on a deeper level, then it just stays with you. So you can go ahead and do all sorts of fancy healing and book healing sessions with healers and try to do fancy guided meditations, but if you're actually not going on a healing on a forgiving mode, none of that will actually matter, because it will stay with you. So choose to forgive in order to heal. You know, I didn't even read the messages as I was saying this. See the light in all. Remember that the love has no boundaries, and it's talking about the love aspect, because yeah, you know, in order for you to forgive somebody, you have to have enough love and compassion for the person or a situation in order for that to come in culmination, right? So yeah, it's very, very important that you incorporate that in your healing. 2 jumped out, so I'll see what this one is. Dinah is talking about focus intention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. And it's kind of going with the flow of the reading, and it just it's very profound, you know, and very, very actually clear what the messages are, you know, to just continue remaining focused, because yeah, it's really, really here, focus on your strength. And then Kutumi is talking about focus, right? So a lot of focus is like really, really being highlighted here. So yeah. Bridget, inner strength, move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power, and actually you do, right? You know, the power is actually always within you, right? So and yeah, it's meant to you know, to keep you in align with what you know, what your soul's purpose is, what your journey is, right? Psychic insight, Odin. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is. Follow your intuition. And a lot of times, collectives always have a problem staying focused, or you know, staying true to their intuition or their guidance that they're getting. So the biggest message here is to continue remaining focused and follow your guidance. And of course, you're getting lots of downloads, so just incorporate all of that. You are in charge of that situation, right? Of your journey, of your you know, of your day-to-day matters. So yeah, it's very, very important that you actually continue doing that. So we're gonna dive into the tarot aspect of it. Let's see what shows up. Holy moly, I always bring this card up. I don't know who I'm channeling here that are my viewers, or is it just we constantly in the tower moment? I have no idea, but it always is one of the cards that always show up. And if you go back to any of my previous readings, you'll see that it's one of the must ones, you know. So yeah, we've got the tower here. So it's here, and you know, it's at the bottom of the deck, so if it jumps out again, we'll take it. But tower is usually not a bad idea, because it's crumbling of the old beliefs and patterns and conditioning and whatever have you. It's crumbling all of that, and then of course you're reconstructing. Just like old buildings get demolished and then new buildings resurrect from that. That's basically what it is. Your old beliefs, your ideas, everything like that gets, you know, it's like a force fall from all of that to really rebuilding the entire whether it's your belief, whether it's your conditioning, your healing, it can go into many, many layers, but that's basically what it is. You're actually rebuilding from scratch, you know, just like that with the buildings. As soon as it's demolished, it's actually getting reconstructed as well. So think about it that way, and you're actually building on a deeper foundation with more. It's more permanent. It's new, and it's pretty much going through a rewiring system, just like you would if you were to upgrade your computer, pretty much, right? So you know, you throw in all your you know, new programs and stuff like that. You take the old out and you actually refurbish it that way, right? So that's kind of the idea here, the analogy of it, right? So the first card that showed up is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands in typical tarot deck is talking about this sailor that is at the end of the beach and is waiting for the ship to come ashore. So it's the same energy even in this deck. This is the Egyptian version of it. So and yeah, I mean, here this person is, I'm just trying to see here how I would interpret it. This person is also, if you look, right, this person has the pyramid around him, and pyramid is always a structure of strength, and it took eons and eons to build the pyramid. If you actually look into the you know, the history of it, right, it didn't happen overnight. So basically, and that's that mode that this person is, and he's just waiting. So you can see that, you know, the you know, and he's in a lotus position and he's just waiting calmly, right? So that's the overall energy. In the background, of course, you have the sun. So the sun is always giving you the clarity, the vision, and you can see that the sky is actually really, really clear. So yeah, there's no fog in the distance, you know. So that's basically the energy that is talking about in the deck. Another one that we've got is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, I will actually use some of another deck to just clarify some of these things. Queen of Wands is about, from all the four queens, this is the one that, you know, is very, very confident when it comes to herself in the terms of her looks. She's and you know, again, the divine feminines are, it's come to that point where I know this is one of my future videos. In fact, actually, I think I'm gonna maybe air it next week, where some of the collectives wanted me to talk about you know, weight loss and stuff like that, and because a lot of them want to actually try to get their health in order. So these, the ones that did request that, you know what I mean. So that queen, the Queen of Wands, is all about knowing her power in her looks, in her confidence. You know, she's very, very confident in that way, and she's very, very passionate as well. So she's giving out that energy about really, really being passionate about what her intentions are, what her desires are, and how she's remaining focused, which is what the other cards were indicating. So yeah, so that's that energy that is good to have if you are trying to embody that energy. So yeah, and of course, you know, I mean, it's with the Three of Wands there, it's gonna be not an overnight process. It never is. So we'll take one more card here. Perfect. So we've got the Magician here, and that's what I was trying to say, that, you know, you want to be in that alchemy mode, and you want to just continue doing your thing as you have been, right? Because you're on the right path. And here we've got the Prince of Wands. Prince of Wands is that fiery prince, that comes and goes, you know. So that's the energy this prince has. So if you are kind of in that energy of the high and the low, then I would say try to remain more grounded so that you can continue. Oh my goodness. As soon as I picked the deck, it's, see the magician here? So this is another deck. So it just goes to show how, and I was just gonna shuffle it. So yeah, I didn't plan it that way. That's for sure. So so yeah, it's talking about not to be in that wishy-washy energy. Then that's the Prince of Wands. Prince of Wands is the Knight of Wands in normal deck. So so yeah, you know, try not to be in that wishy-washy energy and try to remain really focused, because this is the one prince. He turns hot and cold so fast, so you want to not do that. You want to be in that constant energy of remaining grounded and focused with your intentions and your desires, you know, versus just one day you are all gunned on for manifesting, and then the other times you're not, right? So you don't want to do that. At bottom of the deck, we've got the Fool. So the Fool is that Tower card. I mean, remember the other one, the other deck was talking about the Tower, and I was saying that after the tower crumbles, you know, you rebuild on that foundation, and this is the same thing. You know, you are actually starting from, this is the first tarot in the tarot deck, can't speak, and this is the beginning of that cycle. So that's what you know, that's clarifying the Tower that the other decks had. And so, you know, you are in that mode of the beginning, because it's starting from scratch after the crumble happens. So that's really a positive thing, because the Tower is not that it's gonna be in the near future for majority of them, or majority of you. It could be that it's already crumbled and you're actually rebuilding on that foundation, or for some of you it could actually be a force crumble by the universe, and then you're gonna start from scratch. So either ways, it's reassuring to know that it's a process that will happen no matter what. First card, the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is talking about, see, I'm clarifying the Three of Wands, and this is really good to know that for those that are you know, trying to manifest your dreams and wishes, it's talking about Nine of Cups is talking about your dreams and wishes coming into fruition, you know, your heart set desires. So when you look at it this way, it's going to take time, right? But it's going to happen, because this is the Nine of Cups, right? So and the second one that jumped out, okay, so this is clarifying now the Queen of Wands. You know, a lot of you guys are in this energy, the Eight of Swords. So if you are worrying about some of the things about yourself, you know, Spirit is saying not to worry about it, because you put the Magician there. So the Magician is really in that alchemy mode, right? So you have the strength and the ability to alchemize anything that you are set out to do. So we've got the Magician that's clarified by the Hierophant, and that's just part of the spiritual. Hierophant is always about you know, the spiritual aspect of it. So this is the spiritual process that has to happen in order for you to ascend, right? So that's clarifying that. And let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so for many of you, if you didn't know, this is a pair. So the Hierophant is the male version of it, and the High Priestess is the female version of it. So together they are actually a pair, and this is the bottom of the deck. Now, a lot of you guys are also in that mode where you want to know for a lot of answers, and you know, you're trying to seek it, you know, constantly the message that the spirit is saying that you have to not do that, because the high priestess is about you know, trying to be like not everything is revealed. With the high priestess being here, you have to kind of go with the flow, because yeah, it's not gonna be just revealed. Straight answers won't come to you if that's what you are seeking, because you're not meant to. So and that was clarifying the Knight of Wands or the Prince of Wands in this deck, where you have your you know, your energy all over the place, right? So you need to just kind of stay centered and not worry about the fact that you don't know what's happening in the future, because the high priestess is saying it's not your time to know all that stuff. So you have to be in that energy of just staying in the moment and focus on your healing. You know, take charge of your healing and your betterment, and focus on yourself. So these were the messages here. Let's go into, I'm gonna do this one. And with this one, I usually like to read the messages from the book. So let's see what wants to come. Bottom of the deck, we've got Unfinished Symphony. And that's 10. I will not take it, but I'll just quickly tell you the overall meaning, because I haven't memorized any of these meanings by heart, actually. So let's see. Because it's such a thick book, it's got so much meanings to it. So the meaning for this particular card is unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. So there is a lot of, if you guys were inquiring about your beloved, there is a lot of things that are not being told, because the High Priestess is here, because it's going to take its course when things will get revealed to you when you're meant to know. So that's what I was saying. Not for you. So if you can look, it's got a picture of a fortune cookie, and the card that came is not for you, and that's 6. What I'll do is I'll pull these cards out, and then I'll look at the meaning, because then it's a lot easier. 33, we've got chaos and conflict. And one more. Regeneration. And I really like this card, because it just is really affirming what I was just saying about the rebuild, right? So yeah, to me it makes sense. Between worlds, and we'll go into the meaning of it and just see what this means. So the first one was not for you. We'll have a look at what that means. A clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. So a lot of times when it comes to our twin flame and them rejecting us, or you or me, you know, we feel that that's really cruel, and it really isn't, because the thing is that when they're rejecting, or you're going through that rejection, you're actually looking within you what areas you need to heal, and where you can improve certain things. So it's you know, it never is you know, when it comes to your soul lessons, your journey, it never is meant to be cruel to you, but it feels that way, right? So and the meaning behind this is there are many times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game and you feel you just watching from the sidelines. And you know, the appearance of this card indicates that you are going to attain what you want right now, that indeed your dreams for that exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. And this is why that, you know, the High Priestess is here, right? So it's not everything is going to be revealed to you at this point. You have to be patient. And that's why the Three of Wands is here with their Nine of Cups. You know, it's on its way, right? What you have put out as your intention is on its way. You just have to be patient with it. Take heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what is for your highest good. And this is the work of your higher self, where all these things that you do not like about your current situation, just know that it's part of the lesson, right? It's part of the journey lesson. Rejection is God's protection. Sometimes something is much better that will make you truly happy, and that it's on its way. So trust this process, right? So that's I was gonna put this away. Yeah, you can just be rest assured that it's gonna show up when the timing is right. So the next one was 33, chaos and conflict. So that one is talking about disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. Opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well. As you become unmoored by it, scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. And this is the next card I was gonna say, right? So I'll read that one, but that's why I really liked, you know, this is why the Tower energy showed up, right, in our reading, because that's what it's doing. It's crumbling the old, and then you're gonna be regenerating from there. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal. And a lot of times in our soul's journey, a lot of the stuff that shows up on our surface is actually something that is heralding from the internal, right? So it's the inner healing as well. So it's not necessarily just whatever is right on the surface that needs to be healed. It actually goes a lot deeper than you think. Its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control, yet every storm passes and the chaos leads to reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. So that's the thing, you know, if you're going into conflicts with any matters of your life, there's always another side of that situation that you are not seeing, right? Look upon this as a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather to be understood. So if you guys, there's some of you, now this is like a very general reading, but if you guys are trying to reach out to your DM, or you're trying to you know, make things right, you know, you need to step back, right? And instead of trying to make them understand, you know, try not to be misunderstood in the process as well. So that's the biggest message here that it's saying. So the next one is, sorry with the glare here, and this one is regeneration. So you've got this tree that is regenerating from the ground. It's got little spurts of leaves. I don't know if you can see the details. It's got little leaves already there. So that's actually a good thing. and this was number 46. Rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. So I was saying that this is the theme of the reading anyways, because it's throughout the reading, that's what it's saying. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived. So for some of you, some of the old stuff is getting revived. It could be regarding your connection with your twin flame or any other matters, because this is such a general reading. You know, it could be anything in more authentic, stronger form. So yeah, it's getting revived in a more authentic and stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. The rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So I really like this card, because this was sort of a little dark energy in the beginning, but you know, it's going into the better times, right? Now we had this is number 3, and this is talking about between worlds, and this was at the bottom of the deck. So I want to see what this says. And this would be the overall meaning of that spread. So transitions are not being quite out of one situation, fully engaged in another. Temporary blindness in no man's land. So yeah, so if you're in that and that's what I was trying to say. Even at the bottom of the deck, we had the Knight of Wands, and I was telling you this is the wishy-washy energy, you know, being hot and cold all at the same time, and you know, not sure what you know, because this is one night that is not decisive. You know, it's just all over the place, and this is basically the same energy between worlds, right? You know, you still are, you're not clear about what's happening, and temporary blindness in no man's land, right? Between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you're unable to see what is ahead, and this is why you have the High Priestess here, right? Because yeah, not everything is going to get revealed as you think. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of change and growth. And that's, let me just see where, somewhere it did say trust the process. Set your intentions high. I'm just going through my card here to see where. I think this one was talking about to trust the process, and that's the Diana, right? That's talking about, again, where focus intention, right? Think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome, and that's by trusting the process, trusting that it will take time, but it will show up, right? You will rebuild again, right? So you're done learning the lessons and of recent experiences. In this place, between that was and what will be, is a state of making and unmaking and making again. So sort of like a little cycle that this is why the Fool showed up, right? It's all about cycles and understanding that it's still a process. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. There is great freedom and power to be unleashed. A mystery that is not yours to understand weaves the web of life within a divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, desires, and decisions. The seed that you planted in the past, right, begins to take root, but what will surface will probably not be what you expect. when you are between the worlds, you are invited to see with the curious eyes of a child glimpsing a rainbow for the first time. So do so and you will not be disappointed. And that's all about going with the flow, right? Let me see if I can pick this up. You know, going with the flow, and because this is the magician being here, telling you that it's all that process. So that was the meaning overall for the spread. Let me just put this all, because I always come back and pick them up, so I don't want to put them all out of order here, because then it's easy for me to. Okay, here we go. Somewhat cleaned up here. Here we go. Because yeah, I still have one more deck here, so let's see what wants to come here. Bottom of the deck, we've got Dragonfly, and this one is Emergence. So let's see what this means, Dragonfly. You are in an intense process of emergence into the next cycle of your life. So it's kind of going ahead with the theme of the reading. Unlike more gradual shifts in awareness you have experienced, this one is happening quite rapidly and came on somewhat unexpectedly, without any pauses for contemplation or indecision. So sometimes this is why even this one is here, because you know it's representing that energy, right, of sometimes things happening really fast. You may even think that you are unprepared for such dramatic changes in your life, yet you are prepared. See, that's the thing, you know, like sometimes, you know, we feel that, my God, these are all such dramatic changes, but it really isn't really all that dramatic, because you're still going with the flow and you actually pass through it anyway. So it's never, you can never say that, you know, it's too fast, because you know your higher self sometimes knows that you can handle it. So yeah, you have to even trust that process. So yet you are prepared and can put to use the experience and wisdom you have accumulated up to now. And that's so true, because you know if you cannot handle it, you wouldn't be given this task, right? So that's the good thing. Life is demanding that you move into the next stage of maturity. This requires you to adjust your thinking about yourself, others, and your community. It calls for you to shed yet another layer of your ego-filled defenses and let go of any illusions of being less than who you are. The period of emergence is one of the broadest consciousness and heightened perceptual capacities. And since it is inevitable, it is best to surrender to the flow and allow yourself to gracefully move into the next cycle of your life. So yeah, and this is why the chaos and conflict is here, right? Because that's the overall energy of that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna take 3 cards out of this. Mountain. And that's the strength. So this is self-explanatory. If you think about mountains, they are very, very strong, and they're so big, and they're very, very, like, nothing knocks them out, you know, except for volcano, but you know, but not all mountains have volcanoes, right? But they always remain standing, even the volcanoes, right? All that stuff emerges and, you know, disrupts it, but it still doesn't go crumbling down. It's very, very powerful, right? It's very, very steady. So that's the good part about mountains, you know, they stand. I didn't plan it this way. Volcano. So yeah, volatility. This one is talking about volatility. My goodness. And these are very intense messages. Even just for me to read it out to you guys. Holy moly. Solitude. And that's the island. Okay. So, bottom of the deck, we've got the movement, and which is the river. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got the first one was the mountain. So let's see what the mountain is talking about. It makes no sense to deny the strength you have at the cost of allowing yourself to be reactive and subject to external influences far beyond what is healthy for you. Imagine yourself as a mountain of strength, solidity, grounded in the earth, your head held high as if you were touching the sky. Do so without straining, just as the mountain itself does not strain. And that's what I was saying. It's actually so steady, right? You know, nothing knocks it. Nothing really does. Not even on a volcano, because a volcano just comes, erupts it a little bit, but then it's still standing still, right? The current situation calls for you to be vigilant, but not to the point of fear or paranoia. Be that rock of strength you're capable of becoming. So for some of you, if you really needed that that assurance, you can do it. The solidness of your resolve will be clearly communicated when you model yourself after the towering immensity of a mountain. So standing steady like a rock is what is being called for at this time. So yeah, you really want to stay in that strength energy, volatility, and that is the volcano. So let's see what. This is particularly volatile time for you. Unexpected changes, sometimes quite sudden and dramatic, are occurring in ways that you have absolutely no control over. These occurrences may be so powerful as to shake up what you formerly thought of as the foundations of your security. So this is the Tower card that I was talking about. This may even cause you to reassess the direction of your life. That is whatever way it's taking charge, to question some of your relationships, or to reevaluate the work you have chosen. So that's calling for that. You can also get guidance from your spirit team and your guides to just kind of see you through, to just give you clarity on what needs to be the next move. These are storms that come. It's like the Tower, because even the volcanoes, once they erupt, they also bring in the new life, right, after the chaos, right? So that's that regeneration part. So yeah, it's sometimes necessary for, and that's the biggest message that it's giving, that these things are necessary sometimes to have the new life come forward, right? Solitude is the other one, which is the island, and let's see what this one says. You need to take some time for solitude, preferably in silence. Spend in the morning, afternoon, or even the entire day by yourself, completely unplanned and unstructured. So, and again, that's the go with the flow kind of thing that it's sometimes really important versus planning it. And sometimes you're so so engrossed in planning and planning and planning that it actually defeats the purpose. By the time you are done with your planning, you're too exhausted to actually carry it through, right? So yeah, just sometimes go with the flow. The bombardment of your senses by the noise and intensity of society leaves you with an alert for more than is necessary. The vibration of millions of people worry and fear throughout the world can impinge upon you and greatly affect you if you do not honor your need to pull back from time to time. And this is why, like, regular day-to-day matters can really put a toll on people, especially if you are watching the news and if you're following what's out there. Sometimes it's okay to just shut all that stuff off and pull back and kick back with a good movie or a book, that will inspire you, rather than just watching the news or reading some things that are on the social media that will be disturbing. So yeah, it's a good idea to just kind of pull back and just gain your yourself together, right? The bottom of the deck we had River, and that's the movement. So let's see what the River is saying. Fighting or blocking the flow of life. Force can lead you to feeling spiritually void and disconnected from source. Just like the metaphor of the river, it does not work to force or fight this compelling movement. When you simply pay attention and observe the flow, it becomes easier to navigate your experiences and see what lies ahead, or at least get a sense of what is to come by the ever-changing geography that unfolds you as you cruise along. So again, that's that to go with the flow, because the river does that. Now, if you'll ever watch the river, it usually is never flat. Like, it looks flat from far, but if you actually go and look, it's got so many things that is flowing through, rocks and debris and all that sort of thing. And it's flowing like seamlessly, right? It doesn't get bothered by all those things that are underneath it. So that's the underlying message here, that if you are worried about the inner turmoil and all that sort of thing, you're still going through with the flow with it. So yeah, so try not to analyze all of that too much. So now we are going into the messages from your twin flame. Let's see. And I have charms to do as well. So that's pretty much concluding the reading here. I'm with you all the time, especially our moments in 5D. And if you want to purchase this deck, this is my creation, so you can do that directly from my website. And that's messages from your twin flame. I'm working very hard to build my empire. That is my main focus right now. I always say that with DMs, they are heavily into the spiritual, the DF is heavily into the spiritual aspect of the journey, and the DM, the material aspect of the journey, because, and together it's a alliance, right, between the energies, because they are so focus driven on their career, their finances, and yeah, and I see that time and time after with the majority of the DMs, that's what they do. And it actually ended up showing up here again. So for some of you, if you were wondering if your moments with them in 5D, whether that's actually real or it's something that you're imagining, this is a confirmation for you. I'm with you all the time, especially our moments in 5D. So, and of course, 5D is not up there and 3D here. It's a state of your consciousness and your being, right? So they're all here. There's no such thing as up there and, you know, here. There's no such thing as heaven there and hell below, you know, below surface. Like, you know, your heaven and hell is all here. There's no such thing. So I know, as growing up, you know, this is what was taught to us, right? But it really isn't the case. So this is for some of you. I had to let you go, but it is not for long. What's the next message? I am heartbroken. So if you guys, this is some of you, if you feel that you are just heartbroken and they are just enjoying their life, they're really actually not all that much as you think. I'm constantly thinking of you as much as you are thinking of me. So if there's some of you that cannot take them out of your mind, it's not just one-sided. It never is. Let's work together in our relationship. So, and that's why I had to let you go, but it is not for long, is here, right? Bottom of the deck, we've got, please do not give up on us. I need you. So, and let's see what the charms are saying. Almost there. Okay, made with love. So your connection is definitely made with love. This is the sunflower. So the sunflowers are, you know, a very good symbol that talks about the sun energy, and they talk about happiness and stability. We've got the castle here. I don't know if you can see a home. So yeah, it's talking about all of that. We've got the now I want to say this, like, it's a bird, so it could be anything. It could be a crow, it could be you know, any of the bird that it reminds you of. So this could be a animal spirit for some of you. We've got the spider. So if you guys have been sighting a lot of spiders, you know, inside the web, that's divine feminine energy, and it talks about you know, with the spiders, they create a web, and they are very, very sure of what they want, because they create the web and they actually attract you know, their food inside that web. So so it's the same idea of manifesting, right? If you're attracting things that you desire, then that would be the same idea. We've got two little fishes inside, and that could be the Pisces energy for some of you. Okay, we've got the key. And if you look at the key, it's got three little hearts there. So some of you are unlocking the matters of your heart, or it could be your heart chakra opening up, any of that. I've got the star. So the star always talks about the dreams and wishes coming into fruition. The infinity symbol is here. All right. And made with love again. So I had two charms in this pile, and twice it came. So it's really a strong message. We've got a cross here for some of you that are seeing crosses. That's a good thing. I actually like this one. This is more for me. I don't know about you guys, but I've been smelling fragrance of roses, and it's probably just my, you know, senses of smell, which is one of the clairs. It's probably developing, and I've been smelling it. I just get a whiff of floral fragrance, and sometimes it's even a rose. And I never really had that before. So, and then I look around and actually see there's no way that I would actually be able to smell that because I'm not in a rose garden or whatever have you. So yeah, it's been, and I had to look it up actually. It's got quite a lot of meaning to it, and the fact that this showed up in my charms, that's telling me that I really need to, I'll reread that article that you know what, I will actually link it for you guys as well, so you can have a look if that's something that you guys want to do. And yeah, I really have to pay attention to what the rose is saying in there, because I mean, it again, anytime you have smells from, you know, like a whiff of fragrance that you smell, it usually has a meaning to it. It could be your angels, it could be loved deceased ones, or it could be just, you know, your twin flame as well. And so yeah, it could be any of that stuff. And then you've got the crown here. So with all this was our July messages reading. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. With that, this was Twin Flame Union.